Hello, my name is Chuku Manabe, and what I want to talk to you about today is something I've been doing with a few of my friends. It's something we started in the year 2022, and now it has become something you know worth talking to people about. So we call it a state syndicates and the syndicator in chief, right? So essentially, what we do is we come together, pool resources, think of a project, come together, pool resources, and invest in the project. Then whatever uh, returns that come, we share pro rata. We share depending on what each of us brought into this project. So it's basically like sharing a cow. You know, what we do in a group of friends come together, buy a cow, share it, and everyone gets a piece of the cow without individually having to buy a full cow. I mean, you don't need a full cow. So what this has done for us is that without having to push out so much capital into a particular project, say a project that's valued at 100 million naira, without having to raise 100 million to go for this project, with 10 million naira or whatever contribution you make to the project, you can actually assess the returns on this project. So we call it estate syndicate. It's a syndication, so to say. And we have done quite a few projects successfully. Now we are going up. We want to do a full estate now, not just a property. So essentially what I'm doing is asking you to come join us. So why will you syndicate instead of trying to regularly own a property? We have looked at a few metrics that we want to use to compare these two strategies in real estate investments. Number one is capital outlay. The capital outlay for syndication is low relative to the project, to the property. So essentially, you're talking about a project worth 100 million naira, for example, and it may seem daunting for you as an individual. It may seem like, oh, this task, this goal is not attainable. You know what we say about goals being smart, measurable, attainable, and time bound. So this goal may not be attainable, so you might ditch it. You might decide, okay, it's not worth the try. But then, if you have a platform that makes it possible for you to assess this goal, assess the returns on this project by just making a 10 million naira, like a tenth of of what the project is worth, essentially. And then you can actually assess returns on this project. It makes it less daunting. So the capital outlay, number one, is low for syndication relative to the regular way of investing. Because if, for example, you have to make the 100 million happen, it's not impossible, but it may take you 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, depending on your capacity today, to begin to earn on that project. But with syndication, with a fraction of the cost of the project, you begin to earn on the project almost immediately. So for the regular strategy of real estate investment, I would say that the capital outlay is high, but for syndication, capital outlay is low. Now, next is return on investment. So let's say that this project is worth 100 million naira, can generate a revenue of, say, 10 million naira a year, right? To be conservative, let's say it can generate 10 million naira a year. So what happens is that for an investment of your 10 million naira, you're getting a return of 1 million, right? You're getting it in a shorter time, you're getting it almost immediately, as against having to lay out this capital across 5 years, barring inflation and other circumstances that may crop up. You're going to start getting this return of 10% almost immediately. Let's say a year. Let's say it will ordinarily take a year to do this project if all the money is available. But you have to lay it out across 5 years alone. And so your ROI on those first 5 years you're laying out the capital is nil, is nothing. You're not making any return. Whereas someone that did a syndication on the same project begins to get 10% in the same year. So the ROI, the return on the investment made, is higher for syndication, is low for the regular method. You know, then the risk for a person syndicating is lower than the risk for a person doing the regular thing. Why? Because you are risking 100 million, I'm risking 10 million. That's one. Also, because we are a community, we have we are seeing this same objective through different angles. So the things that you may be blinded to because of your background, your circumstances, and your experiences or ignorance, another person may be able to see those, and things that I may be blinded to because of my excitement, enthusiasm, background, and stuff, other members of the team can be able to see that. So our risk, because we are a team, is greatly reduced. Is actually greatly reduced. We are not likely to make the mistakes we would have made as individuals, and so on. And of course, when you talk about the exposure of the economy, when things like prices go up and all that, we are not exposed to it because our monies come quicker. We raise money faster. So we are able to hedge against those inflationary pressures, and these issues that we have seen arise in the past couple of months in Nigeria. So our risk is greatly reduced because we syndicate. Yeah. So another reason you should syndicate is the scalability. You know, it's easier to do these projects when it's not one person. Yeah. So you may be at a place that your dream is to do one house, but when you're in a team, when it's collective effort, it's easier to do these projects. You realize that you may do more than one house even in one year. So the scalability of the investment of investment is easier with syndication. You can scale more easily. You can you can invest in spaces that you have not even thought about because other members of the team are bringing it up, suggesting it. For example, we are speculating uh, Airbnb in Rwanda for later this year. It was suggested by a member of the team. I had to go check Rwanda out, and we are talking about it. We are looking at it. So scalability is the another aspect that supports syndication as against the regular way of investing. So another thing is ease of exit or transfer of property. So for example, you eventually do this your house that is worth 100 million or 150 million, and you start looking to exit the project. You want to sell. It's also not as easy as it would have been to find someone that would take a 15 million naira stake or a 10 million naira stake than taking up your whole 100 million or 150 million. So it's easier to exit a syndication. You could also exit and transfer to a member of the syndication. So it's easier to exit a syndication than it is to exit a full block, or to transfer the property. Properties in syndication are also transferable. You could transfer your title, your interest in the property to your heir or whoever you determine to transfer it to. The other thing, which is a very key consideration in real estate investment, is appreciation, capital appreciation, or value appreciation of the property. So, for example, if your capital outlay is 10 million naira for this year, the property you probably will be able to invest in is not the same thing that someone with 100 million can invest in. First of all, even if we decide to invest in the same property, the guy with 100 million will probably be able to make a bargain. He'll probably be able to get a discount on the same property that you're getting for 10 million, assuming we decide to invest in the same space. But then 100 million gives me access to a higher value space than what you probably can do now. And real estate appreciates across body. In fact, it's less likely to appreciate in a place of slower development than a space that has more rapid and high-end development. So with our pool of resources, we are able to access properties that have higher rate of appreciation than what we would have been able to do individually. So you realize that even capital appreciation, property value appreciation supports syndication as against the regular method of investment. So what am I asking you to do? Come join us. Come and syndicate with us. Let's get together and do bigger things. Your dream of creating passive income in real estate just got easier, got more possible with this platform, this syndication. So I'm asking you to come and join us. Ask me any question, whether in direct message or in the chat. Ask me whatever questions you may have, and I am happy to answer and talk about this. So we're asking you to come and join us.